Our council had already turned down an application for McDonald's to go into Sarina. I don't know how many times, but I do believe it was a few. None of us expected what happened. It had already been turned down. I think most people were expecting to go in and see it turned down again. MRC officers had already written a recommendation of refusal of this application for 6 reasons, which we might look at a couple later. But the mayor did a double take. All of a sudden, he was telling, I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And he is saying, well, I wouldn't mind if we pass a motion to vote that we're not going to accept the recommendations of this team that was set up to look into whether McDonald's can go into Sarina or not. And he said it several times. It was really weird. So, voting to go against their recommendation would allow the application to pass. And it's the location of the McDonald's that seems to be the main issue. One has got to ask, why did he do an about turn? Why? What would have caused the mayor to do a total about turn? We can only guess. Rhonda put a post up, I think it was on the Regional Council's Facebook page. I'm going to read it to you, it was excellent. Why was the application for McDonald's to be built in Sarina recommended for refusal by the MRC officers? There were 6 reasons behind their objection. One being that the site is in a residential zoned area on Broad Street, and another being that there were other sites available, or there are, in commercial zoned areas of Sarina. What were the other 4 reasons taken into account for the refusal? We didn't hear them. Why was Greg Williamson so determined to let all councillors know that he would have no problem if the councillors voted in a motion to refuse the report? He was really pushing for this to happen. He said it several times. Something does not sound right here. Well done to the councillors who asked for more briefings on this whole application, and that was interesting too, before voting for or against the application. What effect will a McDonald's outlet have on existing businesses in Sarina? The hotels, the restaurants, the sporting clubs, service station, bakery, subway, pie shop, seafood shop. They're established local businesses and they employ Sarina residents. These need the support of residents more than any huge company that cares about the dividends of their shareholders over the economy of a small regional town. And that is very, very true. So I put on as a comment on one of their posts too, I think it might have been Daily Mercury, what could possibly have happened to make the mayor do a turnaround and quite obviously try and convince the councillors to vote in favour of McDonald's. My point has nothing to do with Macca's. It has everything to do with what I saw as his not-so-subtle coercive tactics. There were 2 representatives from McDonald's there. They both spoke, and I won't go into what they said, but the woman said, oh, we're giving 120 more jobs. We're bringing 120 more jobs into Sarina. And I questioned her on that personally later. I said, where did you get that number from? 120. She said, well, that's what we'll be doing, 120 jobs. I said, so what about all the students that you employ for 1 shift a week, 4 hours a week? Are you counting that as an employee? She said, yes. I said, well, that's not really very fair, is it? No, that is absolutely ridiculous. She said, it's legal. My response, it's not moral. It's absolutely not moral. So, that's the issue on Macca's. A little bit of stuff going on in council. I would encourage you to go to the meetings. There are a lot of people there on Wednesday, and it would appear the numbers are growing. But we learn a lot when we go to council meetings.